This is Ayushi Mishra, and I'll be talking about my project, Wildfire Prediction and Spread Detection. It is a machine learning project, web-based that predicts wildfire intensity using NASA firm's dataset and is deployed on AWS EC2 using Docker, Jenkins, and GitHub for a complete CI/CD workflow. Here we can see this is my repository where there are multiple files related to the project, and we have here the Docker file where we are talking about the version we have used, directory, as well as what commands we are supposed to run, what is the first thing that should be run, that was the requirement.txt. Other than that, we have pip install and other requirements.txt. Then we have requirements.txt. You can see Streamlit Pandas. These libraries are present over here. So to start, we'll be starting by creating an ec2 instance which I created named Wildfire server, and what we did here was I launched an Ubuntu ec2 instance t2.micro for free tier and downloaded a key pair which was wildfire.pem, and then I had to allow to the security groups. Here are those, which consisted of 8080 for Jenkins and 8501 because I'm using Streamlit here. And EC2 is a cloud virtual machine that will help host Jenkins, Docker, and the running app. Security groups act as a firewall rules to allow only required ports, so we are allowing only the required ports here. Then I connected that with SSH, which is my local machine. You can see that here. And this was done using the .pem key, which we downloaded from SSH, from EC2, because we needed servers to install Docker and Jenkins and to run commands. So then we go to our instance. In this, we can find installation of the requirements. Initially, we have installed Docker, we have installed Jenkins. And Docker was installed using uh, the official method, and then started the Docker daemon and added the Ubuntu users to the Docker group. Oh God, this is too bad. Yes. After that, I used to install Jenkins because we have to make a CI/CD pipeline. So we are doing all this in EC2 itself, so that once we close EC2, everything finishes and it is good for demo purposes. So in Jenkins, we have installed Java first, and because it uses Java, OpenJDK 17 to run. Then we added the apt repo and key, installed Jenkins, enabled and started Jenkins. You can see that here. Yes. After that, we can see this active running part here. It's enabled. So then we added, we can go here, yeah. So here we created a CI/CD pipeline in Jenkins. And before that, we initialized Jenkins. We added the password, and we created users access for Docker and GitHub in this also, provided with the passwords of Docker Hub. And because my repository was already public, so did not need any password there. But yes, I did provide it with the access tokens, and then I created this pipeline initially the first run, and then I uh, installed the required plugins, which were GitHub and Git server, as well as Docker plugins. And then after that, um, the requirements were, we added the code for running all that in Jenkins. After that, what we did was, we started with a build. Initially, my first build was failed because I think I entered the wrong Docker Hub password, but later on it went fine. So there are multiple stages in pipeline, which are checkout. What Jenkins does is, it pulls, it is basically automation of all the sort of code changes we do on GitHub. And whenever it finds there is any changes in the GitHub repository code, it get triggers and it pulls the code from our GitHub, and then creates a Docker file, then run test, and then it pushes that back to run on any environment possible. It creates a server for us to run our uh, web application or whatever. It uses tags like latest. Basically, it gets all the latest tags, latest code changes, uh, to map which is the most recent one. And it creates a container run test, basically automates all the part that we have to manually do every time if we would change anything in our GitHub or repository. So it helps in creating the zero runtime, zero downtime, because using Kubernetes and all, because I did not use that because it's not a very production level project. But normally we create nodes. If there are a production level project, we will be putting a number of nodes out there. So if one pod goes down, we have another one running. We did that in blue green PBL last time also. So Jenkins helps in zero downtime because it does maps the changes to one pod, and when that pod is run, the other one goes down. It takes care that it keeps on updating the Docker Hub, so there is no clashes in the older and newer version. And it stops and removes existing container, and then new container is run using docker run dot dash d, and then the name of the container, whatever, and keeps on doing the health checks. We can see that using logs. Yeah, you can see the code here. It's collecting information, and then it's using docker. It created an image. These are my username, crinkle fries, and the latest one is fetched. You can see that, and the finished success one, it gives you the output. After the build is done, we can run our web application. So here it's running using Streamlit. Custom predictions can be made here because it's a dynamic website. If we change the brightness, till now it's showing 36.94 megawatts of brightness being found. Medium intensity wildfire predicted because it's a wildfire prediction system. The moment we change the brightness, we can see 622.72 megawatt of brightness being predicted, which is FRP, fire radiative power. We can see high intensity wildfire predicted. Yes, so this is my entire project. Thank you.